What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today it's time to review Halloween 2018, we'll call it, because it's just called Halloween, which makes no sense because it's a sequel to Halloween, but whatever. So Halloween 2018 came out in 2018, and it was a movie I was highly anticipating. We hadn't gotten a good Halloween movie, in my opinion, since Halloween H2O. It'd been 20 years. We had Resurrection, which if you watched my video yesterday, you know I hate. Complete crap. We had a couple of Rob Zombie movies. Not really my style, to be honest. I know a lot of people like them, but I wanted to get back to the original franchise. Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back. I couldn't wait to get to the theater and see what they had for us, because if they really knocked it out of the park with this movie and possibly this trilogy that's coming out, you know, with Halloween, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, it could be the definitive storyline and the definitive timeline for Halloween, the best one. Because yeah, I love Halloween 2, but then you went and you made Halloween 3. It had nothing to do with nothing. Halloween 4 was awesome, but then Halloween 5, and then especially Halloween 6, it's like, what's going on? And then you had Halloween H2O, which was awesome. What a great timeline. Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween H2O. Beautiful. And then you made Halloween Resurrection, and it effed it all up. So sure, you can just watch 1, 2, and H2O and stop. That's beautiful right there. You can do that. But hey, maybe they can do something even better here in this trilogy. Now, if you saw my Halloween Kills review, you know that I'm not really feeling this trilogy so far. But I will say that Halloween 2018, when I got out of that theater, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and I thought that the potential was there to make a great trilogy. Even though I thought there were some missteps in this movie, there was a lot they did right. There was a lot that was awesome in this movie. It's a movie I can certainly watch. I don't try to avoid this one. Starting with some positives, the score was awesome. It had a little bit of a different flavor to it, but it was still that original John Carpenter melody, you know. It was awesome. So I really liked the score in this movie. And the acting, okay, overall pretty good, but especially James Jude Courtney and Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, the two main characters. Obviously, they're both awesome. Starting with James Jude Courtney, the mannerisms, the size, the brutality, everything is on point. He does a great job as Michael Myers. And I like how they started this movie without the mask. We don't see the face straight on, but you get little glimpses of it, little side here and there, and it makes sense. You're not, just to start a movie and just have Michael Myers show up with a mask and start killing people, it's just lazy. Why don't you write something that makes sense? And yeah, he's in the insane asylum. He's not going to have a mask on. He's not going to be allowed to wear a mask. How he got the mask, with the podcasters going to visit him. The podcasters were able to get the mask somehow, able to get in and visit him. A lot of people have problems with some of that. Like, that wouldn't really happen. But lately, at this day and age, I'm seeing crazy things happen out there. So I'm not putting, anything's possible this day and age. Yeah, the podcasters were able to get in there and visit him, show him the mask. Then eventually he was able to escape. There was a crash, and he goes and kills those podcasters and get his mask back. And when he put that mask on, that was a great moment, awesome scene, and it just got chills there watching him put that mask back on. The mask looks great, looks just like the 78 mask, except it's 40 years old, so obviously it's old and dirty, and it's just looks awesome. There was a lot of expository dialogue, exposition, just giving us information and conversations, pretty unnatural, but I thought it would go away, and it kind of did. It was like, okay, we got to deal with this. And I think part of that is they were trying to get as many people in the theater as they could, which is part of why they just called it Halloween, because if they called it Halloween 2 or Halloween Returns or something like that, then I think people would be like, oh, we got to watch this other movie first. They didn't want that. They wanted people just to come watch it, think it was just like a reboot. They wanted to confuse people, kind of think, is this just a reboot or it's a new, whatever. I think they wanted to get more people in there. And when doing that, they had to give a whole bunch of exposition because it really was a sequel. Now to Jamie Lee Curtis. She was awesome in this movie. She did great with the script that she had. Not to say it was terrible script. I do prefer the Laurie Strode from H2O, but I do understand you don't want to just copy what H2O did. You want this to take place in Haddonfield, so you want her to be in Haddonfield. Why the hell would she stay in Haddonfield? Well, she probably wouldn't, but in this case, she is not scared. She is not running. Well, she is scared in a way, but she's not running. She's not shaking scared in her boots. She's going to prepare herself. She's going to learn how to defend herself. She can shoot. She's going to train her daughter to shoot. She's going to create a bunker. She's going to have a place to go. She's going to have a place to hide if necessary. At least that's what we believe it is at the beginning of the movie, because she knows that this dude is basically supernatural, that this dude is not just some normal psycho killer. And he's not going to get out if he escapes someday. He's not just going to go hide somewhere and stay low. This dude is going to come back to Haddonfield and wreak havoc, which makes her character look a little nuts in this movie. And people think she's a little crazy, including her daughter. But honestly, that kind of makes sense. She would be looked at as kind of nuts because everyone else, they didn't experience what she did. They weren't around in 1978. They're like, this lady's just nuts. It's just a guy who killed people. Yes, there's a bunch of people who killed people. You can start naming a list of serial killers who kill people, okay? He's locked up. He's not going to get out. If he does, he's not going to come back here and just start killing everyone. Okay, that's just dumb, but he is, and she knows that. And there was a couple of really cool callbacks. I think they were pretty awesome. There's one where Laurie's granddaughter was in school. She looks out the window in the same way that Laurie looked out the window when she was in school in the 1978 movie. Laurie Strode looked out the window and saw Michael Myers standing there. It was kind of like, oh shit, what is that? This time, Laurie's granddaughter looks out the window and Laurie is standing there in the same kind of way. I thought that was cool. And then later in the third act, you had Michael Myers throw Laurie off the roof. She's on the ground. He looks down. She's down. Just like in 1978 when Michael was down, thrown off the roof. Myers looks away for a moment, looks back down. Badass scene. Nothing there. She got up and got away. Pretty cool callbacks. You might say, what are the odds the same exact thing happens? That's true, but it could happen. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a pretty badass callback to the first one. And as long as you don't go over the top with the unrealistic things, I'm on board for it. So I'm trying to give some positives here for Halloween 2018, which I thought was a lot better, and I really didn't hate it, and I don't hate it. Having said that, I got problems with it. There are some negatives about this movie. I mentioned some bad dialogue. There's also some really bad humor in this movie. Doesn't belong. In a lot of scenes, I thought it was over the top and not funny. That's the thing. At least if it's funny, it's funny. Not funny at all. You had the dad or the husband, Karen's husband. Karen is the daughter of Laurie Strode, so he is just there to make jokes and act kind of funny. I don't even know. The jokes are not funny at all. At one point, he was setting some mouse traps, had some peanut butter, and a trap went off. He's like, oh, got some peanut butter on my penis. Or did you just get some on your pants there in that area and you thought that was funny? It's not funny at all. It's horrible. It's a horrible line. And he's just there to be funny, and it's not comic relief because it's not funny. And then he's inconsequential in the movie because eventually I believe he gets killed and nobody cares. Nobody mentions him. Nobody said, oh no, Dad. Oh no, my husband's dead. Nobody gives a damn about this mother effer. Who cares? And I get a lot is going on. They're trying to run from Michael Myers. I get that. But there were moments where, they had an opportunity to at least acknowledge his death. No. Why is he in the movie? Then there's Dr. Sartain, another character that's not that great in my opinion. And, he's like the new Loomis. And we're even told that directly. What a horrible line. Like when Laurie Strode first meets him, the first thing she says is, you're the new Loomis. Terminator Dark Fate did the same thing if you're a fan of the Terminator franchise. I was watching that movie like a year later. And Sarah Connor, meets the girl who's now in the same position as John Connor. And she says, you're the new John. We are aware this is the new Dr. Loomis. Thank you, though, Laurie, for that information. So anyway, moving on. There's a crazy twist in this movie with Dr. Sartain in which suddenly, out of nowhere, we find out this guy was responsible for everything. He orchestrated the escape of Michael Myers. He wanted Michael Myers out there killing people. He orchestrated the fact that Michael Myers and Laurie Strode would be back together trying to kill each other. And it was just a really weird timed scene. He even puts on Michael Myers' mask at one point for some reason. Takes it off a few seconds later. He puts on the mask, throws Michael Myers in the car with him and says, let me get my patient back. And shortly after, Michael Myers kills him anyway. And that whole thing was a moot point. It didn't matter. It was just a really weird, I think everyone who saw that was like, what? What the hell is going on? It's like, we got to put a crazy twist in here. But it didn't make a lot of sense and wasn't really meaningful, wasn't really impactful. It didn't really matter. And then there was another scene right around that time where the two cops are talking about sandwiches, and it didn't make it. Again, it was supposed to be funny, and there was just nothing funny about it. It just kind of made the movie stop, and you're like, oh, what's going on here? A lot of dialogue that I think is supposed to be funny between characters, and it just wasn't. But I thought the dialogue wasn't nearly as bad as the newer film, as Halloween Kills, just because in Halloween Kills, it was just completely unrealistic. There were, it was a lot of over the top, evil dies tonight, all that stuff was just like people wouldn't even say that. At least here, there are conversations I could see happening, They just weren't funny, and they just slowed the movie down, and they just didn't. They were kind of cringeworthy. But at least they could potentially conversations that could happen, as opposed to Halloween Kills, where I thought they were just the things that people say wasn't even realistic. And there was also the phone in the Jello scene, if you remember that. Like the girlfriend, they have this huge scene where she gets in a fight with her boyfriend, where her boyfriend's actually, she sees him kissing another girl, I believe. They're at a party. It's a pretty prolonged scene. And eventually, yeah, they get in a little argument, and he gets mad at her, takes her phone, and throws it in some Jello or some pudding. Pretty messed up right there. You probably just broke her phone. It's pretty jacked up. Oh, wait, but this was so the movie could happen because we needed her to not have a phone later on in the next scene. That was also, she couldn't have a phone. Now, I could have come up with some better ways for her to not have a phone. An easy one is her phone died. My phone dies every day. My phone is always dead. Just make her phone dead. I don't know. Or, maybe you could say, what's the odds of her phone being dead? Well, I don't know. What's the odds of my phone being dead at any particular moment? Pretty good. Now, I'm a hot mess. I get that. She's probably, a little more together than I would be. She probably has her phone charged, but it could happen. Or there could be one of many reasons why you don't have your phone with you. But I think they could have come up with something better than what they did in this movie with the phone and the Jello. Then there were a couple other friends that weren't that great. There's another kid who liked her. You can tell that he liked her. He was just annoying, always joking. He's kind of the fat side character who's just joking and joking and joking. But his kill was awesome. And I was happy about it because I didn't like him too much. So it was a cool kill. Not that I didn't like him, deserve to die, but he was annoying, and it's a movie, so it's okay. But there were some awesome kills. That kill was awesome. That whole scene was pretty cool. I like that. I like a lot of the kills in this movie, and I like Michael Myers in this movie. That long tracking shot earlier in the movie was absolutely awesome, where we just follow him along on this long shot where he just rampages through Haddonfield. And I like the third act. The entire third act where Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode, that whole battle. And then, of course, she's got her granddaughter and her daughter with her. And, that whole thing was pretty cool up until the end, when we find out that little area where it looked like it was a safe house for them or a place to go hide. It was actually a place to trap Michael Myers in. And then you set this whole fire. You're going to put your whole house on fire to burn Michael Myers. Now, of course, we saw that he was able to get out in the second movie, in the sequel. And the firemen helped with that because I guess she forgot to account for firemen who would come and try to put out a fire and rescue people. And she didn't really make it very secure because he was able to get out fairly easily. So she probably would have done a better job, to be honest. But hey, it's a movie. I can take some stuff, some unrealistic stuff, but this Halloween 2018 and now combined with Halloween Kills, I'm not feeling it. There's a lot of, I think, poor writing, bad script, bad humor, and it's just not great. Some parts of it, they're really getting Myers right. They're getting the kills right. They're getting the environment right. All that. But the script is bad. And this one, I didn't think it was as bad, but still, I don't think it's great. I think there was some weak writing in here. All that said, there was enough to make up for that with the kills, with Michael Myers, and just the overall tone. The third act was awesome. Some scenes that put in here, like I mentioned, with some of the callbacks. A lot of awesomeness in this movie. A lot more than I thought was in Halloween Kills. And it made up for some of the crap dialogue and crap humor. Did it completely make up for it? Not completely, but enough for me to say that while this movie, certainly I didn't think it was awesome by any stretch. In fact, I didn't even think it was great, but I will say it's good, not great, not terrible, not trash. I wouldn't even say a pass. I would say it's a movie you should check out, but just temper your expectations if you haven't seen it yet, because it's certainly not, a great Halloween film, and I prefer Halloween 2, and I do not believe this will be my go-to timeline once it's all said and done with Halloween Ends. I don't think anything Halloween Ends can do will make this my go-to timeline. I'm still hoping it's awesome and they, figure something out, but I have very, very low expectations at this point for Halloween Ends, the way that this sequel trilogy is going. But Halloween 2018 may very well be, and I expect to be, the best of the three when all is said and done. We'll wait and see on that. Jury's still out. But overall, good, not great. And I don't hate it, don't love it. I mean, that's where I'm at with this movie. So thank you guys for checking out this whole review series. It's been fun, and look for a ranking tomorrow. Halloween, awesome franchise. There are some stinkers in here. This one, is one of the okay ones in my opinion, but I know a lot of people love this movie. A lot of people love Halloween Kills. I don't know what to say. That's fine. I'm glad you like it. Wish I did. Talking about Halloween Kills. This one I like, but I don't love.